Right.
Yes. Atnu, Ankit, can you just check with a few more people how much time they will take to join, what exactly is happening?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So, Pallav, I'll just brief you on the process. Ankur, for both of you, what normally we are doing and how we are collaborating with colleges and coming up with these kind of a courses. So, our whole thought process is to create courses with a mindset of application. So we just don't give gyan.
Hmm.
We make them put it into application and create a feedback mechanism on
Hmm.
that way. कि अच्छा आप
Right.
पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट इंटरव्यू स्किल की बात कर रहे हो, आप नेटवर्किंग की भी बात करो. अगर आप
Hmm.
आंसरिंग की बात कर रहे हो तो आप स्टोरी टेलिंग की भी बात करो, क्योंकि अगर स्टोरी टेलिंग नहीं है तो आपका
Hmm.
आंसर्स अच्छा नहीं है. अगर आप नेटवर्किंग नहीं कर रहे हो तो
Hmm.
आप फिर जॉब का अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट नहीं कर रहे हो. So this is how we are creating
Hmm.
all
Hmm.
the stuff what we are going to teach them with respect to an interface.
Hmm.
So interface with the industry, interface with the life skills, interface with the reality, more of a realization reflection so that they also can grow. क्योंकि एक
Hmm.
टेक्निकल माइंडसेट में क्या हो जाता है कि सॉफ्ट स्किल एस्पेक्ट को डाइजेस्ट करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, कि दिन भर एकदम कोडिंग कोडिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, एआई की बात कर रहे हैं, ऑटोमेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, सॉफ्ट स्किल कहीं ना कहीं
Hmm.
बैकएंड में चला जाता है. एंड
Hmm. Hmm.
ये
Hmm.
एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी ट्राई टू इन्फ्यूज सॉफ्ट स्किल फोर्सफुली, कि नहीं, आओ सामने आओ, मिलो लोगों से बात करो. So this is
Hmm.
how we are
Hmm.
creating these courses and
Hmm.
forcing them to create the industry exposure, and
Right.
also a bridge between the industry and academia, कि अगर आपको
Hmm.
इनसे कुछ हेल्प लगे या ये कुछ हेल्प आपको प्रोवाइड कर दे, they keep on
Hmm.
learning also. Okay, so how
Right.
today's
Right.
discussion is structured, we can start with a small topic as a group discussion, so you can give them a topic, they can just
Hmm.
start as a discussion so that you know their basic knowledge, where they
Hmm.
are at current level, and you can have one
Hmm.
or two three questions, technical questions with them. And
Hmm.
it's structured as a normal understanding कि अच्छा अगर तुम्हें नहीं आता तो you can pass the question, or you can invite someone also to answer, and the output
Hmm.
of this intervention would be at the end, who is the top hire amongst the lot, one or two top
Hmm.
hire that you would love to give them opportunity with reason,
Hmm.
and one or two people who like need some particular investment in their self. So it's that kind of
All right.
feedback,
Good.
and
All right.
based on their based on the interaction, if you can suggest something from the industry, maybe good tools they need to consider if they have not studied, or some website they need to start following, any basic thing from the industry, कि अच्छा ये वाला
Right.
ऐप फॉलो करो या वो करो, या मैं ऐसे
Hmm.
मैनेज करता हूँ अपना लाइफ. So these kind of a
Hmm.
learning we need to make them
Okay.
understand.
Good.
Good
Right.
then.
Right. Right. So,
Yes.
see, I come more from a business and product point
Yeah.
of view,
So I'll give
and
a
Ankur,
background. Give a background, Palav. Yeah.
right.
So okay.
Acha, you will do
So
the introduction part,
yes. I'm just waiting for few of the people to join. Yeah.
right? Okay.
So
Because we should join, we should start in 5-10 minutes because Ankur is limited by time by 9. I can
okay.
stay
Fair enough.
beyond that. Uh, I'll stay till 9:30, but Ankur has a call after
Good
9.
then. Good.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
So done then. So let me start, guys. So good evening, all of you, and we are here for one of the sessions where we create opportunities for the industry people and the students to come together and explore their self. Yeah. Any interview process, any interaction is based on one perspective, exploration about the self. So it serves as a good purpose for both of the stakeholders. यार इंटरव्यूअर को भी कुछ सीखने को मिल जाएगा, तुम्हें भी कुछ सीखने को मिल जाएगा, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी वांट दिस सेशन टू बी मोर एक्सप्रेसिव. सो डोंट वरी
right.
कि यार कुछ गलत बोल दिया या कुछ जज कर देंगे. डोंट वरी. सो लेट्स फॉल मोर ऑफन, लेट्स फेल, so that we rise up early in our career, and that's the whole perspective of this. So let me introduce and welcome both of our guests today. So Pallav Modi, he is my senior from the college, and he is head of AI innovations. He is one of our AI coach, aimadesimple.com. So I will share the link with you. He's not that kind of a techie guy, but a mindset. Because all the automation and everything, na technology is driven by the human mindset. Yeah, we are replicating nature, we are replicating philosophies in automation, in AI, and that's what he believes. How your human behavior, how what kind of a thought process goes into, and that's what he's more passionate about. How you create that kind of a process where it enables you to that kind of a thinking. So I welcome Palav Modi for this. And the next of our guest is Ankur Singh. He is a hardcore techie guy. He's a chief AI scientist, and he has a very amazing skill in machine learning, malware analysis, and research trends. He is also having a doctor of philosophy, a PhD focused in computer science. So that's going to be an amazing journey interacting with him. I'm really happy Pallav has clearly made this that he'll be available till 9. So let's make a best use of it in challenging ourselves and our mindset. Yeah. So,
Right.
guys, over to you. I would expect all of you to turn on your camera so that
Right.
non-verbal communication also we understand. And let's start discussing. Yes,
Right.
over to you, Pallav. Yeah.
Right. So first, thanks, Sunny, for such an elaborate introduction, and also, you know, understanding that how storytelling is very, very critical to your career. Like, first to your interview and then to your career, because eventually, when it comes to artificial intelligence, also, right? Uh, every data tells a story, right? That data can tell any story, but if you can't get the story across, right, then you fail as a data scientist, right? And I think that kind of an understanding, which I got, was a lot from Dr. Ankur only, right? When we met at one of the AWS AI conference, where I met Dr. Ankur, right? Although he's a chief AI scientist, right, but his ability to sell his data, or the concept of his data, was something which really attracted me towards him. And since then we have been interacting, and together we have been doing these kind of events, where we are trying to democratize artificial intelligence, make it simple for people, and also allow people to deconstruct it and actually understand how businesses use artificial intelligence, right? Because in college, what we are taught is not what the business always needs, right? And that's what I would like to also invite initially, and I would rather have Ankur speak the first half a little more, and I can take up in the second half, uh, wherein that he has worked with data scientists at entry level, and he has worked with data scientists or AI engineers at even the at even the senior most levels, right? So I think first, of course, as suggested, Sunny, we will do a discussion, GD. But before that, I
Yeah.
think I would like to bring in Ankur to bring his perspective. What is the expectation of the industry, right? When you either join an AI company, a company which is working in the field of AI, or a company who is doing an AI project, right? And probably he will like to share those insights with these guys, and maybe it will add some value to understand what the industry does when some new one comes. Or how do they look at? Right, Ankur? Would you be interested to get
Yeah, yeah.
talk about it?
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
basically, in AI especially, my company, I will tell more about my experience. So my company basically is working on computer vision, NLP, and on healthcare side basically. So what we need from the fresher, what we need from machine learning engineer or from AI engineer. So there are two. So I can draw some points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the requirements for getting selected in any good company or a startup. So what is the first point basically? So first point, during the interview, we look towards the basic concepts of programming. So data structure, design and analysis of algorithm. So the basic concept should be good. If you want to design something in Python on R or in any language, so you can't do something good without the fundamental understanding of these concepts of programming. So the first priority is to identify the good programmer. So on the top of it, because we are talking about AI and machine learning, only good programming skill or the knowledge of a particular language will not help. The interviewer or the candidate must have the knowledge of machine learning, deep learning, NLP, etc. So but we can't expect all these different parameters into a single candidate. So basically, when we generate the vacancy or when we create the vacancy, we clearly mention whether we require computer vision engineer, we require NLP engineer, or we require someone who has the expertise in the healthcare domain or something like that. We always create some kind of categorization. Okay. So generally, what happens if I talk about the computer vision? If we need someone, if we need someone who must have good knowledge in computer vision, then what we seek basically, what we want to explore in candidate, the basic concepts of of machine learning. Okay. So generally, what happens nowadays, there are so many courses available online on Coursera, on different platforms. There are so many courses. So what is happening? Everyone knows about the basic concept. Everyone knows about the basic terminologies. Everyone knows about the basic libraries. But what is important in the company when project comes? Suppose we are handling a project given by the Dubai guys. So what they are expecting, they have created some COVID kits for the fast COVID testing. So now what is their expectation? They have given us the task. They are seeking. They ask us to design a mobile app. If I scan the COVID kit with the help of mobile app, then the AI behind the app must scan the image of that kit and automatically detect whether this kit contain COVID or not based on the blood linings. So this is basically the customized problem. So this is the customized problem. So how can I deal with that problem? So in my team there are 4 to 5 data scientists. So how did I selected the engineers? Basically, depending upon the knowledge of particular domain. So at the entry level, basically the first what I said, the basic knowledge of language, data structure, and design and analysis of algorithm. This is the first point. Second point is the basic understanding of machine learning algorithms, not at the library level in the Python, different libraries of Python, but actual understanding of the algorithm. Then only you can customize the algorithm according to the data. Third point basically is the mixed point. Second point, whatever I said, plus you must have the knowledge of data cleaning, data pre-processing. So all this knowledge is also important. So if I provide you some data, so how to clean the data, how to identify the outliers, how to pre-process the data in order to meet out the final goal. So this knowledge is very, very important if you want to be machine learning engineer. So how can you, these 2 points are sufficient. If you are good in these 2 points, you will be selected. Add-on will be some projects. If you have done some good projects related to machine learning, deep learning, then it will definitely add value if you have done some good projects. But the important point is that what kind of projects have you done? Generally, when I see the candidates resume, they have written so many things. Sequence generation using this network, and some detection using this algorithm. Some very broad areas generally students write in their resume. Object detection. So these are some common things basically. Okay. So project must be very, very specific in nature, because if it will not be specific in nature and the quality of product will not be very specific, then I do you have much to tell in the interview. Okay, so try to select some project that is based on real time scenario. Okay, learn from open source, learn from Medium, blogs, GitHub, and all these YouTube. There are books, Coursera. Learn from all these sources and try to apply the algorithms in some real-time situation, in some customized situation. So it may help. It may help. So these are 3 points: data structure and design analysis of algorithms knowledge, the basic algorithms knowledge, and some good projects. So it will help you out. Yeah, Palla. That's all from my side. Yeah.
Right. And just to add on, I think there are two things which Ankur said, and from an AI company which I also run and which I've done. I think understanding of algorithms and basic concepts is very critical. And secondly, what Ankur also said, that ability to understand data is going to be the ability to understand data, interpret it, and not only interpret it but also be able to translate it into something meaningful will be very critical, right? When as Ankur said, very amazing use case where he said about how they're identifying from a kit that whether this is COVID or not, right? Identifying that what kind of data will help us develop this is also very critical, right? So
Yes.
let's now you, Sunny, let me know how do you want to take this forward now. So you just given some
So,
kind of a.
yeah. So, any topic you want them to think about, or for group discussion, anything?
So we can have a group discussion. Ankur, what kind of group
Just to,
discussion?
like, you may invite them for their perspective on what they have been doing in any way you feel like. So,
Okay,
Ankur, if you can just give them a topic to speak 1 or 2 minutes each. So it's like that. So ad hoc, you can ask application of
Okay.
AI in some domain or whatever. So they can just build on that.
so Ankur,
Okay.
I think one very interesting which I thought was how do they evaluate an AI model? Which I
Okay.
would
Correct.
like to,
Good.
yeah, because
This
that is
topic is
very critical, right?
yeah.
How do they
Yes, fair
evaluate
enough.
the effectiveness of an AI model? I would be happy to hear that out, right?
Yeah. Please proceed. Yeah.
Yes, fair enough.
How
So,
do they
Palak, can
evaluate
you
an
just
AI model?
build the question? Can you just build and elaborate a little bit on the question for everyone?
All right. So if
Yeah.
you, as a lot of people have done a computer vision based project, right, wherein they are using facial recognition to identify a person, right? Now assume that your model has to be deployed at the airport, right, at Indira Gandhi Airport, and as a face recognition model that you have developed or you are developing, right? How would you evaluate your model? On what matrix would you evaluate your model? And how would you say that my model is perfect? And and explain how have you made that model?
That's
And
one.
then why is
Yes,
it? Why should I buy that model, or why should I deploy that model?
yes.
Something like that.
Fair enough,
I
guys.
think everyone can take. So
Yeah, so
just to start that, remember that when I'm talking about airport, then security is very critical to me. And how do you take AI model and security into the perspective and evaluate that model? What and how would you build a model and how would you evaluate your model?
yeah. So guys, you can take 10-20 seconds to just frame your thought perspective, and you can raise your hand. Yeah, if you want to speak, just raise your hand, and you can speak. So anyone who's ready can start. Yeah. Okay, Ankit. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, all. So, the task is to object. The task is about the object detection, in which we have to detect the human faces. So, for the object detection, I personally use YOLO V3 model, in which we train the model is according to the human faces, in which we take the captures the images of the human, and then train the model according to that, and then fine tune it according to our task, and such that we vary the hyperparameters like learning rate and batch sizes and all those things. And after that, I correct the I evaluate our model by using the confusion matrix and by mean accuracy precision, in which we can calculate how much it is accurate and what uh, how we create a boundary box across the faces, and by this we can evaluate, and after that we generate a confusion matrix which gives the true positives and false positives.
Mhm.
That's all. Thank you.
Can I ask the question, or should I allow everyone to speak?
Yes.
So we may ask anyone else if they have to build on that.
Any other approach towards this, right?
Yes. Anyone else want to add on this? Yeah. Yes, Atnu.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Good evening. So actually, in the face recognition model, so we need to have a proper data set build up. So basically, since it is to be deployed in a airport, we need to have a data set which have people with their frontal face clearly visible. So we need to create a mostly large database, so that would take much amount of resource and time. And after that, when we are training the data set, we have to look for a specific aspect, like if there are uh, few add-on on the clear face, like if someone is wearing a glasses, or if he has a facial hair or something, if someone wearing a cap. So this thing must be included in our data set so that it can generalize well the model. And
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Yes, Megha.
Hello, good evening, sir. Sir, I would like to add something. What as Athanu said, I completely agree with him. Like that, we can there are so many data set that we require. A huge amount of data set is required for the security purpose as we are using it. So for that case, we can train our model like in an unsupervised way. I think that will be more appropriate way to train the model, so that it would be able to recognize any new faces, or it can give some uh, error in a very clear way, and we will have a better accuracy performance also of the model in that way. Apart from this, for the dataset case, we can also use like nowadays everyone has Aadhaar card, so we can use that for that purpose for training our model, so that we can use it as some as our data set for training the model, so that it will behave in a good way to recognize the face.
Okay.
Also, as it is the case, like say like someone is using specs at some time, and at the other time, like at the entering time they are using specs, but at the outgoing time they are not using. So for that cases also we can train our model like what we do in adversarial networks. We can use that concept here also. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
So according to
Right.
me, Megha told us that we are using Aadhaar card, but according to me, the Aadhaar card picture is not clearly visible, as we can say it is some contains some noise and not that much very accurate. So for that we can use large images, like we have to manual label it by using label img library. It is available in Python. So we can annotate our image with that library, and then it performs better, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for that we can use that this
Mm-hmm.
concept.
yeah, absolutely. I think he's saying right. Yeah, we can use that also, or otherwise we can take images of people like when they are coming. or during even ticket booking time also we can have that concept, like if they will provide some images, then that would be helpful also. I think.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Anything else, guys? Pallav, there are some technical issues with other people to join. I think they are facing some challenge. So
okay. Okay.
it's,
Not a
yeah.
problem.
Okay.
So, right.
Yeah. Guys, yes, over to you, Pallav. So what was the question asked and what was the answer given? Is it in sync or this is something else?
See, so I asked that what would be, how would you evaluate your model, right? And how would you build your model for a airport facial recognition system in perspective to security, right? So see, the most critical part here was security for an airport. So you see, whenever there is a problem, first when it comes to identifying the data, which I think Megha also talked about, and that what kind of data are we going to use, right? So first and the foremost thing is what data are we going to use, right? When it comes to security, right? I would have used. I would have. It is very very critical for me. Airport security. They're looking for not wrong people entering the airport, right? So I would have taken all the criminals' faces and trained my model with it, right? And then done a knot of my model. You get what I'm trying to say? I would have done a negative of my model. So if I am entering, since I am not a criminal, it would not have identified and it would have gone. But my criminal should have been my training data set, my model. Like that's the simplest answer to a not a very very complicated. I don't know. I'm not talking about unsupervised learning. I'm not talking about adversarial networks. See what happens when you start talking about adversarial networks and then you talk about unsupervised learning. It only first it confuses you, your own answer, right? And second, right now what Atul said and what the first person said, you are talking about something which is like you should take a frontal face training data. This is the third layer of the answer. The first layer of the answer is you need to understand the situation and the problem, right? So that would be my thing. So otherwise, your things were coming out correctly. The first person also said pretty correctly, but someone is looking for a pretty fast answer where you would have said my data set should have been a criminal data set, and I would have just done a negative of my data set. I would have got my answers there. So that was the thing. Second part, which I was also looking when I say evaluate your model, right? So model evaluation is the most important part of AI. So basically when we talk about the confusion matrix, right? Out there, the most important thing is that a criminal should not be left, right? So when it comes to identifying a criminal, my precision should be 100%, right? But when it is when it is about identifying Pallav, then I can go 80-90% also incorrect. Now it is okay because Pallav is not a criminal, right? If he even passes through the airport and not identifying me as Pallav at the airport doesn't make a lot of difference to the security. But what makes difference to the security is if there is some Adnan or some guy, right? Or Asmi, right? If that lady or that guy is a criminal, and if he enters or she enters the airport, then that is a bigger problem for me, right? So, and then I talk about my training data set, and then after my training data set, how will I play with the play with the data set in terms of I should take a frontal face, I should take a in my data set of criminals, then I talk about I should have taken a frontal face or I should have taken a high resolution or low resolution image and all that stuff. So that would have been the flow. Ankur, you would like to add something?
Yeah, so I will talk at second level. So yeah, Ankit talked about the YOLO V3 algorithm, and Atanu talked about something. What did he talk? Atanu talked about something, added something in that. Then Megha talked about Aadhaar card. So the first my first point is that suppose Ankit, my first question is to Ankit. Suppose Ankit, you are selecting suppose YOLO V3, and you said that you will use the label image to annotate the faces. So can you approximate how many images will be required to finish this task?
So for the basic purpose, we can use more than 500 images, because less than that give us the less accuracy that what we actually want. As
Okay.
Pallav sir said, the security is much more important. So we can use more
Yeah.
than 500 images. So we can
Mhm.
properly detect the object in a video frame or video like CCTV camera and something like
Okay.
that.
So we are focusing here on face especially.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Any other answer? How many images will be required? Atanu, Megha.
Sir, I think as this is the case of security, so we should take as high data as we can, like a used data set, like more than 10,000 data set if it is available to us. For that
Okay.
purpose only, I said that we can use Aadhaar card, and also what Pallav sir said that yes, we can take faces of criminal to train our model, but I totally agree with him. Yes, this is a good idea that we can train our model with that, but I would like to add one more thing with it, that like if any new person comes who doesn't have a good intention, like about like something with a mind of criminal or what, so for that case I just thought that if a person who is coming to the airport, if we check at the time of entering, like whoever is coming to that very place, if
Okay.
we
Okay.
can provide
Wait.
security
Wait.
there, then
Megha, wait. Actually,
yes,
I was just asking about the number. How many images will be required for training?
yes, yeah, yeah,
You are saying 10,000 images are required.
yeah, more than
Ankit,
10,000 would be
Ankit said 500. 500 or what? 500.
Yes, sir. 500. So one
Atanu, how many? According to you, I just want to know his view also. How many
Sir,
images will?
uh, to 2,000 to 3,000 would be
2,000
enough
to.
if you
Okay.
use cross validation technique. So
Okay. Okay. So I
so
for just for your information, I just want to share. Google solved this problem, and Google used 300 million images for solving the same problem.
Wow.
300 million images for solving the same problem. So in this is not a simple problem. Okay, it appears very simple to detect the face. It's very easy, but it's not easy at all. So Google clicked the model. I just search on net. Same problem has been solved by Amazon, Microsoft. So all the APIs are also available for this particular problem. So the idea of data is very important. The first point is how many image data points are required to train the algorithm. Then the second part is what will be the algorithm, and third part is how will you tune the parameter. Fourth part is deployment. So these are some important steps. Ankit, you said about the YOLO V3. So I know that YOLO V3 and SSD, these two algorithms are very popular algorithms for object detection. But these algorithms, you will not find these algorithms for face detection. Just Google it. Just search on Google. You will not find these algorithms. You will find very less blogs on this, on for face detection. So are you getting my point? So
yes,
actually, AI in general, AI is different, but when we become the problem specific, then it just it becomes totally different. What does it mean? Suppose you are working on voice, you are working on NLP, you are working on different problem, and within domain, for a computer vision, the face detection, car detection, this detection, that detection, lip movement detection, eye blink detection. So when we talk about within the domain, when sub problems comes, then for those problems different set of algorithms and data preparation is required. That is called a domain knowledge is also important. Okay. So this problem will not be solved like that way. If you are taking 2000 or 3000 images, it will not work. It will fail in most of the cases. Okay. But what can you will detect the face, and how will you verify the face detection? For example, 2000 images. My question is, so yes, to everyone, Ankit, Megha and Atanu, how will you basically the face will be detected, and how will you verify?
So,
Yes, please.
sir, as we will train our model with the images of the person of
Mhm.
many of a very huge with a very huge data set, so it will try to compute the error, like we can take pixels of the data set of each and every data set, and we can compare with the original data set. If it doesn't matches, like we can have some threshold or some value. If it doesn't matches or crosses some particular threshold point, then we can take it as error. And
Sir, I want to add some point. As the data
Okay.
set is large, we can split the data set into train and validation, and we can validate our results on validation data so that we can we can obtain a very good accuracy, or we can obtain what our model performs on that data, and then finally deploy on our test data.
Okay. 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 So there is big gap actually. Okay. There is big
Yeah,
gap.
actually,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
want to add something.
Hmm.
In neural network model, the model actually trains on the specific features on a image. So when we are training on a large data set, so the model should be able to detect specific features of a person. So how if there is any birthmarks in someone's faces, if someone's face has a different shape, so these things the model should be able to learn properly. Only when we can detect the person accurately in our presentation data set.
So how many humans are there on planet? So these features are very common. The shape.
Yeah.
If you are talking about the facial shape or some kind of marks on the face, so these kind of faces are very common in the population density data point. So again, it will fluctuate a lot. So are you getting the point? In the interview, this happens.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah.
happens in the interview. We start with very simple problem, and just you move in the problem, and the interviewer says, "Okay, thank you. We will call you very soon. HR will call you." So what? So this is the point. So this happens. Actually, AI is not just like conventional programming. Okay. So you have to be very specific. So just generally interview will not go like that. Suppose you are in the interview, so I will just see your resume, your projects, then I will ask question from that. But I think your thoughts are not clear. Problem statement is clear to you. Now you can search on web. What are the possible solutions? If we will meet again, then we will discuss more. Pallo, over to you.
Right. Right. See, I kind of understand, when in academia, right? You see, the only difference and I think the only benefit me and Ankur have today over you guys, right? See, there are two things. Everyone has their own strength, right? So today, our strength is business understanding, right? And your strength is freshness, right? It's just that basically, as students and tech students, you today have the ability to bring freshness into the industry, right? That is your fresh thoughts. That is your simplicity of understanding things, which we may get because in our business and every day we are working so much. We get complicated and we can't even solve simple problems. I'll tell you that, right? And so it is not that I can solve every problem. I have solved this problem 10 times. That is why I know the answer to it, right? And similarly, Ankur has worked, in depth in computer vision, right? So his understanding of computer vision goes down to the pixel level, right? And that is why, where he's coming from, and he can identify that there is something which is missing out here. What I would also, what I would like, when Ankit or someone said YOLO, Megha said unsupervised learning, and a lot of other things, right? See, whenever a question is thrown to you, right, uh, understand it from a very simple perspective. That is the first thing, that is your understanding of how programming works, your basic concept. So do not get into YOLO, or don't talk about, like, tomorrow people start talk about GPT-3, unsupervised learning. Because as soon as Megha you said, now I will use unsupervised learning, I would have said that you don't understand AI. That is why you have said unsupervised, right? So try not to. Okay, you can make a mistake, but don't make a basic mistake. That would be my. You can of course make mistakes. You are allowed to make mistakes, right? But there are very critical mistakes which you can make, and you are off the interviewer's mind in a jiffy, right? So that would be my kind of a take. And second, very very important, which Ankur right now said also, that whenever you have a problem, go and Google it. Simple, right? And try to get into the depth of the problem and try to understand how that can be solved. So that would be my advice. So I think we can take another, maybe till Ankur is there. I think Ankur, you're there till 9, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's take another, maybe take another interview question.
Yeah, so I would suggest Pallav, if Ankur can directly ask one-on-one, na? Two
Yeah.
quick, it's like a kind of a rapid fire question. So question
Okay.
answer,
Okay.
question answer kind of a thing. Yeah, just to
Right,
check
Ankur.
and help them reflect. Yes, Ankur.
Right, right.
You can call out names.
Yeah, I can
and,
ask. Okay, fine. So first of all, I just want to know about their area of expertise, just in one or two lines. Then I would like to ask Ankit first.
So
So
I
what kind of
think,
projects have you done?
Sir, I have done the projects on machine learning, basic machine learning like linear regression, logistic regressions, and k nearest neighbors, and then
Mhm.
more advanced to deep learning, object classification.
Okay. Good. So my question is basically uh, for- in support vector. Have you heard about support vector machine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many hyperparameters are there in support vector machine?
Sir, actually, we have to, in support vector machine, we have to maximize the margin so that we can, separate the hyperplane, and we can separate the two classes with the use of that support the hyperplane, and we have to maximize
Very correct.
for.
But my question is just very straightforward. How
Yes.
many hyperparameters are there in support vector machine? So this is one of very common question. Okay, my second question is rapid fire. It's a rapid fire, as Sunny said. So my second question is, yeah, what is the basic difference between clustering and classification?
Sir, in a clustering is basically what at the basic level we can say clustering is like unsupervised, and other one is detect.
No, no,
Other one,
this is the another level for clustering. Another level for clustering. You said it's unsupervised, but what is the difference between clustering and classification?
so in clustering, which we are actually making the groups of a particular things, and in classification we are actually separating out the classes.
No, that's the same thing, na? Cat and one cluster of dog and cat. In classification, we classify dog and cat. Both are the same thing according to him. Then where is the difference?
So
yeah, two questions are so Ankit. So these are very basic questions. Okay. So what should you do? What is my suggestion? Just go through the basics. Okay. These basics are very important. I think MTech in AI. So it creates a very big impression on interviewer. MTech in AI means you are the master of artificial intelligence. So basic questions are very important. I one question I asked directly from algorithm, and one question is just the basic definition. Okay. So just go through these concepts. Okay. So next meeting I will discuss some more questions. Now second question, second is Megha. Okay. So what kind of projects have you done, Megha?
So I have done projects related to some basic of machine learning, some deep learning models like encoder, decoder, and with one hidden layer, and some.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. Great. So I have one basic question. What is learning?
Learning is a method in which the model comes to know about the features that are given as an input to the model. It gets familiar with the feature of the data.
So how network learns basically? It
Uh,
learns. It's generally the common definition. We also learns from the data, but our brain is not neural network. So actually, how neural network, when you define some program just like neural network or support vector machine or random forest, how actually they learn? What happens?
so they take features as input and give importance like weightage to some of the important features, and they transfer it to their hidden layer, and with back propagation they keep on updating their whatever information they have. So in this way they do learn, their learning happens.
Okay, still there is gap. Okay, still the definition is not clear. Okay, and second you said the you have done on machine learning and some part you have done on the deep learning. So
Yes,
okay, so my second one question I have from deep learning. So basically, what is the difference between convolution neural network and RNN, CNN and RNN? What is the difference?
uh, in the convolutional neural network is used to take out the features of the input that we give, that whatever input we give to the neural network, and RNN converts those features into a vector representation. We can say embedding of the features. That is the main difference between CNN and RNN.
No. This is totally wrong. Actually, this is totally wrong. This is not the difference. Okay. So I think in MTech AI, I think you have read the subjects related to it. How where in IIT, if you go somewhere MTech in IIT, so there is very big impression, and if you are committing mistakes at basic level, so it will be an issue, especially in AI job basically. What is my perspective? And now, okay, so no need. Okay, it's good that Sunny sir has created this kind of ambience and environment where you are getting direct feedback. So now you have time to improve. Okay, and in COVID, in this period, you have to update more yourself. You have to learn more. You have to update your weights more in order to survive. Okay, that's the issue. Atanu, I have one question. What kind of project have you done, Atanu?
General machine learning and computer vision model object classification, and currently my MTech project is on medical image analysis, where I have to segment heart ultrasound images. So currently I'm working on it.
Okay, good. So you are working on medical data. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. So basically, what is soft segmentation?
Soft segmentation. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not aware of that. There is segment.
You have not heard about it?
No.
No. Okay, no issue. There are so many terms in AI. Okay, what is UNet? Have you heard about the UNet?
Yes, sir. I'm currently working on UNIT.
You are working on it. Okay, great. So what is
Yeah.
UNIT?
UNIT is a encoder decoder model, which is basically a convolution based model, which the shape is actually U in structures where we gradually decrease the kernel sizes, and then when we go to the bottom layer, we use the skip connection to get the data from the decoder part and then add it to the upsampled
Okay.
data. Then we
Okay, so
gradually.
why? Okay, you are correct. Okay, so can we use the same model in self-driving cars to segment the road?
Mm, yeah, it's a since a segmentation model based on only have used in biomedical images. So
No, it's a segmentation technique, na? So can we use it
yeah.
for road segmentation in self-driving car?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can use that as a segmentation model. You can use that, but I don't know how much accurate it will be, since in a biomedical images there are 5 or 6 classes that we generally detect. But in real life scenario, there we have to detect so many classes. So I don't know how much it will be applicable to a real life scenario. But for UNIT model is in biomedical images for 3 or 4 classes, it may be good.
Okay, so you are giving answer. So I have one last question. What is the time complexity of this model?
Time complexity. Okay.
Okay, fine. Just Google it and start to read in research paper. Okay, fine, great. Okay, Pallav, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Ankur.
Yeah, Ankur, you need to leave. What? You'll be leaving?
Yeah, at 9. Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Next couple of minutes, I believe. At
Yeah.
9.
Okay, so if you can just summarize, Ankur, and give them some tips how they can be updated and from which all places they can learn these things. So it would be very good, helpful for them.
Yeah, so basically, at this at MTech level, okay, you maybe or may not you may or may not get opportunity in companies like Amazon directly in AI domain. It's tough actually at entry level. It's tough to enter in Amazon AI, in Google AI, Microsoft AI, because generally they don't take the freshers, truly speaking. So you will get you will get opportunity in some kind of good startups or some mid-level companies. Okay, this is the reality. Okay, so what is important basically, just look what the companies are doing, what kind of problems they are solving, what are the thrust areas in the market, and try to develop projects related to that. In computer vision, there are 50 companies, 100 companies in Noida, Gurgaon. There are 100 companies or maybe or 200, 500 companies in Bangalore. What are their thrust areas? What are their problem statements? Just extract those problem statements and start working on that. So it may give you some uplift, okay, in uplift in interview. And then my second concern is that update your basics basically, because you are MTech students, okay. So if by mistake you could not crack placement here and you entered in the academia, so again you will be in trap because you have to do the PhD. I have done it, so I know. So it will be just like the you can't imagine the complexity of PhD. Okay, you will be it will break you. So my suggestion is that instead of taking that much of pain, strengthen your basics. Okay, if you don't, after doing MTech, if you don't know what is machine learning, what is clustering, what is RNN, what is CNN, or there are so many other basic things if you don't know. So I have doubt that you can work on some new problem, because I'm just looking at some engineers, data scientists are working with me. They are genius. Sometimes I feel that this problem will not be solved. Just like Dubai problem, Dubai client gave us the problem to identify the blood lines. Blood lines were too much faded, and we are not getting results. We did not get result till 1 month. I was totally depressed. because I am leading the team. I have to give answer to the CEO, CTO. Why is this problem? They don't understand too much AI. They need solution. Even I was depressed, but one of the data scientists cracked the problem. He created the data. I don't know. He did so many things. He upsampled the data. Okay, so he did so many. It was just like the miracle. Okay, it's not easy. So I have doubt that if you will enter into the industry with this knowledge, so how will you bridge the gap? Okay, so I am not demoralizing you. Don't feel demotivated. Just take inputs. Okay, these are the gaps, and I can we can learn from these gaps, because I am looking. And industry, there is different kind of pressure. It's not the exams. If there are 5 questions, out of 5, 3 questions are come. You have to attempt 3 questions. You can left 2 questions. If you can't solve the problem, there is no place. Company will fire you within 6 months, because the startups don't have the bandwidth. They don't have the, it's not the TCS normal website development project. They have 500 are working and 500 are on bench. In a startup, there are 5 engineers, all of them have to work. I have to give result at the end of the day. If they are not giving result, sorry. So this is the scenario, and my best wishes are with you. If you have any doubt, you can contact me. Okay, and don't feel demotivated. You know the things. You are doing that degree from IIT, from prestigious institute. Have the confidence and work hard. Otherwise, nothing will work. Okay, best wishes. Bye. Take care, Sunny. Take care. Follow.
Yes, take care.
Okay.
Pallav, anything you want to add? Yeah. So, Anku, you will be leaving then?
Yeah, I'm leaving. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
So, guys, can we have a good amount of clap for Ankur at least? Yes,
Okay.
Atnu, yes, Mega, yes. Chalo. Thank you so much,
Okay. Thank
Ankur.
you.
And thank you for the best wishes for the students. And that's what we are trying to do, Ankur. If we are not helping them grow in the right direction, then how our research in our country will develop? Yeah. And we all understand that we are very much leading in research as an
Yeah.
Indian mindset.
Yeah, I
We
am
all
hoping
have
that.
a,
Yeah,
yes,
I am
yeah.
also. Yeah, I am also hoping that some of them will be just like Hinton and UNG. With this
Exactly. Yes.
positive note, I am leaving the meeting. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you so much, Ankur. Bye bye. Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Pallav, over to you. If you have any questions or thought you to give to
Mhm.
them.
Right. So, what I kind of, the questions raised by Ankur, right? So, what I
So,
understand is,
Pallav, just a moment. So, Megha, what's your email ID? It's Kumari.9. Yes, Megha, you are on mute.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, it is Kumari.9. College, my
Okay.
college
Okay.
email address.
Yes. Fair enough. Good.
Yeah.
And who's this Vikansh Nath? Atnu, who's this Vikansh Nath?
Yeah. He's from our MTech batch.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I don't have him in the list. That's why I'm asking.
all right. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sure. Over to you, Pallav.
So, do you want to do another round of interview for the basics, or do you want me to kind of conclude or something? What do you say?
One more small quick round.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
let's.
whatever you say, Pallav, it's
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
the
I'll do
interviewer.
something.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So let me talk to Arpit. Arpit, I have a question for you. What is the difference between machine learning and data science? What is kind of a difference between machine learning and data science?
This is to Ankit, I believe. Arpit Jan. Are we audible?
Arpit,
Arpit Jan. You want to answer this? I think he's facing some technical challenge. Yeah,
okay.
Ankit, please take this.
So the basic difference between data science and machine learning is that in data science, the data scientist is actually pre-process the data and make the data according to the particular problem, and then machine learning engineer do the preparation of a model and then fine tune it according to the task and give the results of that.
Okay. Someone else want to take this question? Sorry.
Yeah. So data scientists are actually looking the
I mean, the
Ankit, what
question
I've
is not
said.
data scientist. The question is, I'm not asking who's a data scientist. I'm asking a question difference between a machine learning and data science.
Uh, so data science is more about the data, how we get the data, what is the data, what type of data that we're using, and machine learning is actually about building the model and all that. So from basic perspective, I can.
Okay. Does anyone else want to take this question?
Megha, you want to answer this?
Yeah, I think data science is all about how we pre-process the data, whatever data we get, and machine learning is about training the model we we are
Okay.
going to use for the data.
All right. All right. I'll answer this question later on because this is very critical. All right. To understand the difference between machine learning and data science, I'll answer this. Okay. So my next question, I'll take it with Atanu. Right. Atanu, how do you tune your model? So what are the 3 ways that you can tune your model? The basic 3 ways of tuning your model.
Uh, so,
So once you've prepared a model, now you want to tune it.
so we have uh, to use a hyperparameter optimization, and
Okay.
so there are different ways that we can do that.
Mhm.
And after that, we can use data augmentation technique, regularization technique for generalization, and
Mhm.
and one more thing is we have to choose the appropriate loss function for the model. Otherwise, we can't do anything. So that we
Mhm.
should keep in mind.
Okay.
And
Good. That was a decent answer. No, that was a decent answer. I would also say look at the algorithm also.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Okay. Megha, Atanu, the only thing I would have said, you have got 3 right. One more could have been algorithm. Right.
okay,
You can all of course change the algorithm also at times to tune your
yeah.
model. Right. Okay. Megha, what is the difference between a parameter and a hyperparameter?
So parameters have fixed value that we cannot change, and hyperparameters uh, are the we can change hyperparameter values while
Okay.
training the model. Like what Tanu also said that we use hyperparameter for tuning the model.
Parameters you can't change.
Yes,
Okay. Someone
parameters
has
have
a
fixed values actually.
okay. Would Ankit want to answer this question?
Sir, hyperparameter is basically uh, which we are varying in order to get the optimized result. And suppose like in algorithms like stochastic gradient descent, we can vary the
Mhm.
learning rate and by changing the batch size, so we can actually changing during the optimization, so we can get optimized result. And the parameters is something like a features of the data.
No, that's not right. Not right.
I
Does
can
anyone want
try.
to? Yeah.
I can try. Yeah, parameter only have one dimension. We can change it to increase it or decrease it, but hyperparameter has multi-dimension attributes.
No.
No, not
Completely wrong.
that way.
Completely wrong. Okay. Okay. This is completely wrong. So you need to get your hyperparameters and parameters corrected. Um, it is very so you can have confusion, but this is not. See, these are basics. The difference between a parameter and a hyperparameter. All right. Okay. Now another basic question I have is let who will I like to answer? Okay. Let's start with Ankit. Um, what's the difference between a model and an algorithm?
Sir, model is actually the whole system which we are preparing. An algorithm is a part of a model. So we can say that algorithm, suppose a particular algorithm is we designing which how the model is going to proceed.
Okay. So is artificial neural network a model or an algorithm?
Sir, AN is a model.
Okay. Someone would like to add whether ANN is an algorithm or a model?
Model. Depending on the task, it's a model. And,
Sorry?
depending on the task, what we are using, ANN can be
Would you like
model.
to explain?
So if you are using for classification problem for ANN, ANN basically as a we can use as a it's a model.
What
So
grade
if
of
we use
what grade of algorithm is ANN? What grade of algorithm is what kind of algorithm is ANN?
Algorithm, there is
Artificial
no
neural
such.
network. Sorry?
It's a architecture basically.
No, but what kind of algorithm? So basically, if you see, algorithms are divided into three spaces.
Okay. So it is a linear algorithm, so that we are using for linear classes.
Artificial neural network can never be a linear algorithm.
For a neuron, single neuron, if we are how the neuron.
Then that would not be an artificial neural network, right? If there is a single neuron, then that would be a simple neural network. Okay. See, I would suggest. I understand where you guys are coming from. And critical is which I can see, Sunny, and I would like, you can pick this thing with them later on.
Yeah.
Is that to see, what happens is when you get into a depth of subject too much, right? You just you get enter into such depth that you are not understand what is actually happening or what is there, what are the basics of things.
Yes.
Right. I will give you small examples where you have gone completely wrong and why Ankur also said that. So I would say go back and focus on the basics. Of course, keep focusing on what you're doing as a project and everything, that is fine. But right now, it is so critical for you to focus on just getting the basics right. So when Ankur said the difference between CNN and RNN, I think another basic question he asked before that, very simple ones. So I will tell you a couple of where you've completely gone wrong, right? So one is difference between machine learning and data science. And I will also wrap it up in another 10, 15 minutes. So the difference between machine learning and data science is that machine learning as a concept is when you create an equation, right? Or you create a equation. So when you create a software. So an equation of a credit rating, a credit rating agency want to give a credit rating to someone. Do you understand that concept? That, when you applied for a credit card, either you're rejected or you're accepted, right? Basis on a score. Do we understand this concept?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is machine learning. So machine learning is when you're creating a regression equation to solve a classification problem, or you're using SVM to do a classification problem. So when you create an equation where you give a set of inputs and you get an expected output is called machine learning as a problem as a whole, right? The concept of data science is when your CEO asks you for a number that tell me what should I do in my marketing budget, and then you come back and you have a lot of data and then you say, and you visualize that data. That is what you do in Tableau, and that is what you do in BI, and that is what you also do in your Excel sheet charts, where you exactly tell that, okay, in this data, these are the set of people who are my customer segments, and out of this is the spending habit of these people. And, these people buy Nike as shoes, these people buy Adidas as shoes, and these people buy Bata as my shoes. So you understand your data is called data science, and you create a deck, you create a presentation right, of numbers, and after the management reads that deck, they get a better understanding of their market, of their company, or of the industry. But a machine learning algorithm, or sorry, a machine learning algorithm that solves a problem is where you input a data and you get an output. And that data output can be continuous, like 4.1, 4.2, or like your GPA score, right? That is a machine learning problem. Understood the difference between machine learning and data science?
Yes, sir.
That is the difference between machine learning and data science. But in a lot of data science projects, also machine learning helps solving a data science problem. Okay, it's not that uniquely they're exclusively opposite, but they also solve. That is one. Okay. Second, very, very important thing which you guys have missed is that what is the difference between a parameter and a hyperparameter, right? See, hyperparameter is always linked to the model. Okay, what's a hyperparameter? Learning rate is a hyperparameter. Your activation function is a hyperparameter, and it is basically your model on which your epoch is a hyperparameter, batch size is a hyperparameter, right? What's a parameter? Parameter for a regression equation is degree, right? What is the degree of regression? If it is 2, then it is square. If it is cube, then it is something. You get? If I talk about artificial neural network, the parameters are your number of neurons, your number of number of hidden layers. That are your parameters. These are not your hyperparameters. Do I make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you understand what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're telling me some random stuff, right? You know, hyperparameters can be changed. This cannot be changed. That cannot be. No, it's not like that. Hyperparameters are about the model, right? And you can keep changing it without changing anything inside, right? You can keep changing the epoch rate. You can keep changing the learning rate. You can keep changing the batch rate, right? Without changing anything inside. That is why they are called hyperparameters. And parameters are sitting inside, which can be changed. Again, so when I asked tuning, and which Atanu kind of rightly answered that you use hyperparameter, you use data augmentation, and you use algorithm parameters also to tune your model. So if your regression equation is not being solved with a simple problem, then you increase the degree of regression, or you make it multivariable. So those are called your parameters. Now you kind of get what I'm trying to tell you. And see, I don't come from a very, very technical background, and you guys come from a very hardcore technical background. And if there is a difference of thought, there can be. You can tell me right now. But these are some basic things which I'm talking about. That how do you tune your model? Atanu exactly said very right. That was the first answer which I got proper. But other than that, there are terms that you are throwing here and there, which you may. So basically, what is happening is you have all the terms in your brain, but those terms are not connected logically. You know the terms, you know something about the terms, but that something is only making you confused, not the other way. Right? So, like the difference between RNN and CNN, what is the difference between classification and clustering? These are a little complicated, but very simple to understand. All right?
True. Yes, true.
Yes, sir.
And I'll also explain you this concept because this is very critical and you may waste a lot of time. What is the difference between clustering? And I will tell you, Sunny, I'll tell one last thing, right? Which will help you to understand AI and specifically artificial neural network much better, right? Where I said, also I asked you a question, what is the difference between, is there a difference between algorithm and a model? There is a very big difference. Initially, someone said it right, that model is the whole system, right? And when I also asked that, whether artificial neural network is a model or artificial neural network is an algorithm, artificial neural network is an algorithm. It is not a model. It is a algorithm which when get trained, having the weights and biases becomes a model. So a model is when an algorithm has its weights and biases and then it becomes a model. Have I made that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? So algorithm sits inside a model, right? And an algorithm, when given the right weightages and everything. And last thing I'll tell you, whenever you get confused at how AI works, always think like, which in fact in a conversation with Dr. Shailesh, he's chief data scientist, Reliance Jio, right? He told me very simple, Allah, whenever you get confused about artificial intelligence, right? Always remember one thing, that how does a 4-year-old kid think about how does a 4-year-old kid learn, right? Similarly, in the problem of classification and clustering. So if you give a 4-year-old kid, right, today, set of 20 toffees and chocolates, okay, and tell the kid that you differentiate them, you put them into multiple segments. What would the the kid, what will you do? Kid, knowing that the wrapper of a chocolate is like brown, will put them away and then toffees away. So they will say, okay, all the toffees are red color, they will put it separately. All the chocolates are brown color, they will put it separately. And that concept is called clustering, where you have not given the system any supervised learning. You have not told the system that what are these toffees and chocolates, but they are able to differentiate. That is called the concept of clustering. On the other hand, if you constantly tell the kid that this is an apple and this is an orange, and then you give them together, they will be able to differentiate that this is an apple and this is orange because they have learned it. And that is the concept of classification. And that is why classification is a supervised learning concept and supervised learning algorithm, and clustering is an unsupervised learning algorithm where the system, on the basis of unknown features, is able to separate things out. Was I able to make some sense there?
Yes, sir.
Right? So very important. You may have done an excellent project. You may have done some excellent research. But if your basics are not in place, then cracking an interview can become very, very difficult. Right? So go back to the basics, read about them, and try to understand. And then don't be too serious about AI. The less serious you will be about AI, the more you will learn. That is my understanding.
Yeah, true, Pallav. Yes,
Yeah,
great.
that's my take right now.
Yes. So, guys, anything else you want to ask or say? Over to you, guys. Okay. So that's a wonderful, Pallav. I'll just summarize in a basic nutshell. And I really loved a few of the expressions which you made it very clear for them. And I can connect it back to the work which you are doing. That complicating stuffs, increasing it to a greater depth, you will lose on the basics. And how you connect with people is with stories. Every data is a story. And you have seen Ankit, Atnu, and Megha, how Pallav was sharing the examples with use of a kid, apple, oranges. And this is how we need to simplify our learning. Okay, we need to understand clustering and classification and machine learning. Just use simple examples which connect with people. And this is what the whole reality of storytelling. The moment I talk about a bigger aspect of the life, nobody will understand. And you yourself will get confused. Yeah, this is just like a kid. Na? मैं अपने दोस्त 1 साल के बच्चे को अगर कसेट रील वाला दे दूं ना, the cassette with the reel, what he will do, he'll get tangled with the reel and he'll just cry. Na? He'll not let go and he'll go deeper into the tragic scenario. Yeah, वो ना तो छोड़ेगा उस रील को ना हमें हेल्प करने देगा. Okay, and this is the whole reality of the fundamentals and basic. Use simple examples like apple, oranges, candies. These are very real life scenarios. Use these kind of expressions in learning process. Whenever you are learning, see how a 4-year-old kid would apply, how a brain is applying. Yeah, and that's what I really loved about one thing about what Pallav is doing, that managers, they don't need AI. Yeah, they need the philosophy of AI. The moment you are clear with the philosophy of AI, how a decision is being taken, what exactly goes in your head when you talk about automation, what is the problem which you need to resolve. The moment these fundamentals are clear, then you bring in language, and those language are code and machine learning, everything. But what goes in your mind, the problem, the challenge, that cannot be communicated with language. Yeah, coding will not say what is my problem area, but problem area is emotions, how I was feeling, what are the challenges I'm facing. When you talk in these kind of a language, it becomes very easy to convey or answer. Yeah, and जितना simple रखेंगे, fundamentals clear रखेंगे, उतना जल्दी hire करना आसान होता है. And I've been saying this to you again and again, guys. People want to hire creative guy, true guy whose fundamentals are clear. अगर तुमको बेसिक नहीं क्लियर है तो कंपनी में ग्रो नहीं कर पाओगे. बट इफ यू आर योरसेल्फ टू मच कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, देन कंपनी में इंडक्शन के टाइम में यू अगेन जस्ट गो हेवाई. या, और हुपला क्रिएट होगा. ओके, सो clarify your fundamentals and be updated with what is happening in the industry. Yeah, and I'll just share one of the things about Pallav. He has also created courses on online, like AI for managers, AI for business purpose. Yeah, if you're a MBA guy, if you're a manager, if people are doing, how they would learn AI. Yeah, and this is a very unique course which he has created. So, Pallav, would you mind sharing something about that course to them?
So still in making, but I'll tell
Yeah.
you the reason why I'm doing it, right? And I'll tell you very simple the reason I'm doing it. So one of my very close friend, and I don't want to kind of say that these online courses don't make sense or whatever, right? So one of my very dear friend, he paid up around 3 to 4 lakh rupees to do one of these online masters program. And eventually he left it after 3 months or 4 months after paying a grand price of 3 to 4 lakh rupees. And the challenge with him was that the learning the learning was so much like steep, right? Suddenly, see, you need to understand artificial intelligence is like an ocean with the depth and the breadth is so much that if you're trying to do everything, you're going to just drown simply, and that is what is happening to a lot of people. And that is where I just want to first create a simple environment for people to understand the purpose of AI and how they can use it, and then understand where they want to go from it. So that is where my concept is like the first step to artificial intelligence is my course main objective. That what is the first step to artificial intelligence? What are the basics of AI? And how should you approach a problem? How should you approach a problem through data first, and see whether you need an AI or not for that. So more from an approach and design perspective that I have created it, and it is good for everyone, even for engineers for that matter, to have a look at it, to understand how non-coding tools are being used in this world, where you really do not need to actually code and make AI models. But more for an engineer, it is two things are very important: to understand the problem and to understand that how can you solve that problem is not what needs to be focused on. Not, I don't think so algorithms will play a very, very important role to start with. So
True.
that is my thing, is because it's just that AI is an ocean. I just want to give them some kind of a way and direction through my course, to just say, okay, I now understand this, now let me move in this direction and not go everywhere.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. True, Pallav. So that's
And
great, guys. Yes, Pallav. Anything else?
And last thing, right? So as in fact, which Ankur also said, right, where he said that you can do NLP, you can do computer vision, you can do data science, you can do so many things, right? But for you guys, there are two things which industry is really picking up, and by the time you guys graduate, right, there are two industries which are looking very, very promising when it comes to AI. Industries and industry verticals or business functions. One or AI type. One is conversational AI, which is picking up pretty well. And conversational AI, when I talk about it, WhatsApp automation, NLP. So NLP is, if you have it in you, NLP is picking very well. So if you want to focus, it is a little more complex than computer vision. So if you want to focus, then focus on NLP as the future AI, which is going to have a lot of adoption, and a lot of people will be. And second is computer vision in manufacturing domain, because that is leading to a lot of smart manufacturing processes. So these are two areas where either look at one area, smart manufacturing, or look at conversational AI, automating marketing, something like that. These two are big in terms of pickup in the next year to come.
That's wonderful.
Right. That will be all.
Yes. So great. Thank you so much, Pallav. That was wonderful. So, guys, any feedback, any final note you want to share? Any one of you? Ankit, Atnu, any feedback? Any?
Sir, the session is very good because both the sir, Ankur sir and Pallav sir said that we are somewhat lacking in the basics, and we are just we know everything, but we cannot formulate in a proper manner. So for that, I can say that this session is very useful for us.
Yes. Chalo, great, Ankit. Yes, Atnu, Megha, anything you want to share?
Yes, sir. This
Yes, Megha.
session was very helpful for me. I got to learn many things from both sirs, both all of you. We need to clear the basics. We are lacking in basics. Actually, we know that, but we are not able to represent it and give good, or make it useful for us. So yes, we need to look at it in a very good way. And moreover, the feedback that sir told us that yes, we need to work on some areas that we are lacking on. Yes, we will definitely do it, and we'll try to improve ourselves. Thank you so much for this session.
Yes.
It was
Wonderful,
really
Megha.
helpful.
Thank you so much, Megha. Atnu, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Like Megan and Kit said, so I'll not iterate all those things, but it will always helped me to learn what I was lacking. And one more question that I have, that since we are in academic, we have so many subjects that we are learning in NLP, CV, and like sir said, we know the terms, but we are not connecting all of it. So in industry,
Yeah.
there are a lot of different domains that we can work on, but in our placement, when the companies are coming, how should we know that which field that we should prepare? How, I mean, if the basics are strong, then I can then it's okay. But how to approach a problem from an industry perspective? We don't know that. I mean, I am working in a small data set. I have small computing resources, limited computing resources, and all that. How the industry is actually working, that we don't know actually. So if you can tell me about that.
Right. See, Adanu, that's a very nice question that you've asked, that how does industry approach a problem, right? And how does it think? And I think, Sunny, it's a very long topic. We can probably do another
Yes.
session with, I can give an understanding that how does an industry look at AI, right? Or look at data for that matter, or look at big data for that matter. But to answer Tanu, one thing which I also right now said, right, work on one project, right? And any company which is coming, and if there is a mature interviewer, right, what he's looking is at your approach, right? And if your approach is right, then your thought process is right. So if I talk about computer vision, if I talk about natural language processing, and if I talk about speech recognition, right, all of them start with data, then they get that the data gets encoded, then there is feature extraction, it gets fed to an algorithm, and then there is supervised learning, right? It is similar for all of them, right? Yes, the encoding techniques are different for natural language processing. The encoding technique are different for computer vision. That is there, I understand. But what I want is you to understand is that the approach is almost the same. You get what I'm trying to say? Data augmentation as a technique is required in NLP. Data augmentation as a technique is required in computer vision and speech recognition, all of the three.
Yes.
Okay.
True. Yeah, perfect.
Right.
So Atnu, just to build you on that, na. So both of the speakers have been saying the same point. Focus on one particular project and ask questions on end to end. Na A to Z, ask everything, and keep on reflecting with the common fundamentals. Okay, why you are doing, why this is, and keep on googling. Yeah, Google पे बहुत कुछ मिलता है. And another thing is follow good people in the industry. So be active on LinkedIn, follow certain leaders. Yeah. For example,
Yeah.
Pallav is there, Arpit is there, Ankit was there. So follow them, see what kind of posts they are doing. They have
Right.
Pallav is having a
So,
YouTube channel. Follow on the YouTube channel. Just see what kind of a post he is putting. Na? And
one you
ask
should
questions.
certainly.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Sunny,
Pallav.
when you said YouTube, right? So there
Yeah.
is a series that is posted by me where in the conversation with Dr. Shailesh, the chief data scientist of Reliance Jio, right?
Okay.
And like it's a series of 5 or 6 videos, 10 minutes. They're excellent. Like they will give so much clarity in terms of he's amazing storyteller. Like you should look at his storytelling ability of
That's
him. It's
wonderful.
out of this world.
Yeah, so the guys, you got the ready-made answer, na? So just go and subscribe to his channel and just see those videos, okay? And
Yes, sir.
it's not about him; it's about Mr. Shankar. You mentioned Napala. What's his name?
Shailesh, he's chief data scientist
Shailesh.
Reliance Jio.
Yeah, so you get to learn from them, and he's extracting. So if you have any query, you can just ping him, connect with him, reply to on his LinkedIn, and this is how you keep on learning. Yeah. Ask questions and push it to the relevant people in the industry. So good then, guys. That's wonderful having you here, Pallav. And I'm really thankful, and I'm from my deepest heart. I'm saying this. बहुत short notice में आपने accept किया invitation, and you are able to help these people out, and that's what we all are aspiring to. क्योंकि अगर next generation को नहीं देंगे, हम अपना old age secure नहीं कर रहे हैं. Yeah, that's a basic thing I think.
But that is nice, right? So I think this is वो जो हमेशा academy और business में but that is what you're also trying to do, is to bridge the gap
Yeah.
between academy and business as much
Yes.
as possible.
Yeah, and making it more realistic. कि भाई एकदम
Yeah.
बिना fundamentals के धंधा नहीं हो सकता. So if we are able to sink in that and at an early age, because Pallav, what happens ना, लोग interview के just पहले तैयारी करना शुरू करते हैं, and at that time it's very late. So if you start working a year back, so एक साल तुमको time मिलता है to put all the resources in picture places. Okay, and that's what we are just trying to do. So good then. So wonderful, Pallav. And so would you mind if I can share your email ID with them if they want to connect with you on? Will that be okay?
So the email ID would be pallav.modi@aimadesimple.com.
Yeah. So guys, be in touch with him. Get in touch with him and keep in constant. Just be behind him. Yeah. क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री में you never know. That's what I'm saying to them, Pallav. You never know कौन बंदा कब लाइफ में कहाँ हेल्प हो जाए. Okay. So keep on investing. It's always practice net giving. Keep giving to others. See how you can help him grow. How you can help his work spread it in your college. Yeah. And if in some of your work, if you can invite him for speaking, help him grow so that he reminds you, he recalls you, and he helps you get placed with good projects also. And that's how the world works. And I'm very simple on that. I'm very upfront to these youngsters and young generation that networking is gonna be a crucial element post COVID. Yeah, everybody is online, everybody is on LinkedIn. If you have not a good network, आज के टाइम में सेल्समैन का जॉब जीरो हो गया है ना. कोई भी घर जा जाके सेल्समैन नहीं कर रहा है. No, salesman job is going to be zero. Now who is going to be a salesman? कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स जिन्होंने अपने LinkedIn में लिख दिया working with Deloitte. Yeah, they are doing a branding, and that's what how the world has changed. Every branding has moved to the users part. Now you don't need a brand manager, ना कोई अब ये हॉलीवुड स्टार्स को हायर नहीं करने वाला now. The things are gonna change drastically with digital media. So create your network, be in touch with industry people. Yeah, keep on constantly sharing with them. Okay, yes sir, I'm working on this, I want to share my learning with you, can you give me a feedback? So keep bridging that gap, and that's how you create miracles for your life. So that's it from my end. So thank you so much, Pallav. Can we have a good amount of clap for him? Yes, thank you, Pallav, for dropping in back.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you.
guys, if you can create a feedback note for him and share it with me, I'll collate everything and put it to on his LinkedIn wall. Okay, that would be really nice. I'll be pasting this image on his wall also on LinkedIn, and I would really appreciate if you can personally go and give a feedback on that LinkedIn. I'll share the link with you. Okay,
Okay.
good guys.
Okay.
Okay, so that's wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, so fair enough. So guys, you all stay here for a couple of minutes. We'll have a one-on-one interaction. So thank you so much, Pallav. Anything else you want to speak?
No, thank you. And stay
Okay.
happy, guys, and don't take too much stress. Life will be fine, and you guys are okay. And remember one more thing. I'll tell you what. See, always remember that what is your strength. And no one should tell you, like in this scenario, we told you what is your strength or weaknesses, right? But remember that your being young and your being fresh is your biggest strength, right? So if you've got your basics right and you've got your strength of freshness and young and energy right, right, then people oldies like us will love to have you around, right? So that's
True
the thing.
that.
So play on your
This is
strength.
like
That is very
the
important.
old wine in a new bottle. Yeah, Pallav?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Good then.
Right.
Chalo, wonderful. Thank you so much, Pallav, for being here.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, guys. How was the day? How was the feedback? Maza aaya?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
absolutely.
can you not just see a sync in the complete structure? One classroom program, the workshop, you understood the basics, and one technical. Okay, I'll give you certain feedback on what is happening with all of you. So, Atnu, your color was all green. Yeah, screen पे. भाई ऐसा लग रहा था मैट्रिक्स चल रहा है. Yeah. So always do a testing, and there are two logins for you. So I'm not sure why there are two logins.
Actually,
Yeah, there are two.
actually, sir, I'm using my mobile for microphone and my laptop for camera. So my
Yeah.
laptop has Ubuntu installed, so it's has
Un-
a green screen.
Understood what happens in life. So you all need to be prepared. Yeah, last moment पे नहीं होता है. Okay, last moment पे सिर्फ chaos होता है. Okay, and that's what the whole idea of testing and planning. Okay, good then. So that's for you, Atnu. Ankit, for you, your curtain is moving very often at the back. So always position your screen where the curtain is not visible. Yeah. So turn it around a little bit where it's not visible, and the light is not on your face. Okay. Yeah. This seems better. So, and light should be on your face. You're not facing the light. I think where is the light? It's on your.
What?
It should be on your. Yeah. So it should be on your face. Yeah. The light should be on your face. Okay.
Okay.
Manage it in that way. Megha, you are managing your posture and in a very efficient way. Of all the three people, Megha was constantly sitting, and Ankit, you are doing like your tongue was like kabhi aise, kabhi waise. So you are constantly showing your tongue. Okay. So keep managing your posture. And one thing I really appreciate Megha, throughout the 1.5 hour of thing, she was constantly aligned. Even if there was a disturbance, someone came on the door, but she was very calm and poised. So there was no that kind of a pressure on her who came and all. It happens, distractions come, but you are very calm and composed. So I would give a 10 on 10 to Megha for you this, for managing the setup and managing all your non-verbal communication. Okay, good then, Baba. So guys, just help me with one final activity. Please prepare a list of questions what was asked, a small feedback. I'll be sharing a link with all of you, all mostly a three of you. Please write a feedback there. Okay. so that you create a good bonding between the interviewer and yourself. Making sense?
Yes,
Will you
Yes,
be
sir.
doing that?
yes,
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good then. Maza aaya session mein? This
Yes,
was
sir.
good, enriching experience, the complete journey.
yes, sir.
Yeah, good then. Chalo, great guys. So we'll be in touch. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Good
Thank
night.
you, sir.
Bye bye. Good night.